Hey there, friends, and welcome back to another 3-Minute Thoughts. My name is Derek, and in the next 3 minutes, we're going to slow down and look at one chapter in the New Testament. This is going to be a time when we don't force you to agree, but rather just suspend your disbelief and allow you to engage in something that God has right here before you. Matthew chapter 26 begins with plans being made in the shadows. Religious leaders look for a way to arrest Jesus quietly. At the same time, a woman pours expensive perfume over Jesus' head. It's an extravagant and pretty emotional act, to say the least. She's criticized by some for wasting money, but Jesus defends her, saying she's understood something about what's coming that others haven't. This is important because sometimes when we look at the way we return back to God what He's given to us, whether it's in our offerings or in the time that we spend or the service we provide. Others might think it's extravagant or crazy or nonsensical, but maybe we understand something that others don't. The chapter then transitions to the betrayal. Judas agrees to hand Jesus over for a sack of money. Now, the contrast is a bit jarring. Devotion on one side, treachery on the other side. So we have this woman who pours oil, expensive oil, on Jesus to prepare him, and yet Judas turns around and sells him for a stack of cash himself. That very evening, Jesus shares a final meal with his closest friends. He breaks bread, pours wine, and speaks about his body and blood. He's framing his coming death as something purposeful rather than accidental. He's not going to be arrested and killed. He's going to give himself over and give up his own life. There's a pretty significant difference. He also predicts that they will all scatter. Now, each one of them, in their own special way, insists they're not going to run away. But as soon as we look at what happens in the garden and even in the temple area, we see that it plays out exactly the way Jesus says. As we move now into the garden, this place called Gethsemane, or the place of the skull, Jesus begins to pray. He prays in agony, asking if there's another way, yet ultimately entrusting himself to God's will. The disciples, exhausted from all of the emotion of this moment and all the work being done, they fall asleep. Now, when soldiers arrive, Judas identifies Jesus not with a point of the finger, but rather a kiss on the cheek. It's an ultimate slap in the face, to say the least. Chaos erupts, a sword flashes, Jesus stops the violence and submits to arrest. The rest of the chapter is a slow unraveling. Witnesses contradict themselves at Jesus' trial. The high priest demands a direct answer about his identity. Jesus finally speaks and is accused of blasphemy. Matthew 26 isn't about villains and heroes. It's about what fear exposes, about how easily loyalty wavers when consequences become real, and about a Jesus who walks forward anyway. Hey, thanks for sticking with me through this 3 minutes. Be well, friends.